So a new study out of Rice University suggests there was racism involved when people reacted to the "Now You See Me" gesture by Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. And join us for Caitlin Clark's crossover every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 and 5:30 to 6:30 respectively Eastern time, except for major holidays. It's like a sports reporters type forum with guest podcasters. It's really cool. So some people call it the "Now You See Me." Some people say you can't see me, but it's John Cena did this. And Caitlin Clark used it in a game against Louisville when she got the 41-point triple-double that really made her famous. Angel Reese did make her famous 2 games later. She became famous because of that 41-point triple-double.
Are you sure about that, Mark? Are you sure?
Well, we're not going to discuss that again today. We discussed another video. But no, her game was, ratings for that game was 50% higher than LSU. In the next round, it was 60% higher. And then in a Google search, it was 8.5 to 1 for Caitlin Clark going up to that game. So I'm sure about it. So anyways, all right, but we went over that in another video. So, and she was also touted to be player of the year. Wouldn't that be the most famous person that year?
Yeah, I think so.
She probably already won it by that point. There's 6 different awards. So anyways, in this particular study, the study suggests racial bias in the Angel Reese-Caitlin Clark debate, examines how social media is changing the game. A PhD candidate, or they call it doctoral candidate, Shahil Parsons. So he's not even a doctor yet. He's just, trying to become a doctor. And he did a study trying to make a name for himself, I think. So it says a newly published study from Rice University and the University of Illinois, Chicago takes a data-driven look at one of the most polarizing controversies in recent memory, the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark debate from the 2023 NCAA championship game. And it says, during the league game, Iowa's star guard Caitlin Clark made a now famous "You Can't See Me" hand gesture, a taunt originally popularized by wrestler John Cena, without much controversy. Okay, well, there wasn't much controversy because nobody even knew what it meant, Rob.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Yeah,
for a second.
Especially you, Mark. I mean, you don't even watch you don't watch that wrestling, so you didn't even know what that was.
The announcer didn't know either, and I'll play the tape for you in a second. Nobody knew what it was except for one person that made a comment. That's why there was no uproar. We wasn't sure why she was doing that. And it wasn't done in someone's face. But anyway, however, when LSU's Angel Reese made the same gesture towards Clark in the closing moments of the national title game, the reaction was starkly different. That's because the gesture was starkly different, but we'll get to that. Some media personalities and fans criticized Reese as classless and unsportsmanlike. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
others defended her, leading to a nationwide discussion about double standards in sports, race, and gender. Okay, so the people that defended her are the ones being the racists here, Rob. You don't defend someone being that unsportsmanlike and then become a fan of theirs just because they're happy that a black woman won the game and the white woman star didn't win the game and kind of like shoved it in her face. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, and for her to do that gesture, it wasn't even her team. So why is she even doing that? What is her concern about if she did it? Why is she doing it to her? Because I don't understand why she even tried to do it to her.
I find it racist for them to say it's racist. And I'll explain why as we'll go over this. And they say now a new study quantifies what many already suspected. What blacks claimed that was false. Anyways, but I'll read the sentence. Public and media reactions to Reese and Clark were not just different, but racialized. They were racialized. They weren't racialized. I mean, look at any comments that people made that were racial insults or racial undertones were wrong by some Caitlin Clark fans. But they were upset at what happened, and they're pretending that they shouldn't be upset because they're pretending that she did the same thing as Caitlin Clark. So already the study is flawed, Rob, because they didn't do the exact same thing, and we're going to get to that.
Well, I mean, because he's saying that, okay, so the black folks, the black people did it, and then it was unsportsmanlike, but that's okay. So that's cool that the black woman did that. So that's okay for her to do that.
Right.
No,
it's racist.
It's not good for whoever race it is. It's not good for anyone to do that.
Yeah, that's my objection to all this is it wouldn't be okay if anybody did what Angel Reese did.
Right.
And this wasn't just social media chatter. This was a real-time reflection of how race and gender shape public perception, Parsons said. Reese and Clark did the same thing. Again, they didn't do the same thing, and they didn't do the exact same thing. But the responses were just different. They were completely opposite. That contrast tells us a lot about how bias still operates today. No, it's because your study is biased.
Mm-hmm.
So they said research builds on the concept of colorblind racism framework by sociologist Eduardo Bonilla Silva, which explains how racial bias persists through coded language rather than overt discrimination. So I don't know what.
By coded language, does he? I mean, what? So certain gestures and certain.
Well, here the next sentence says that, Rob. Even if people don't know the term colorblind racism, they recognize when a black woman is called classless, while a white woman doing the same thing is praised as competitive. We set out to measure the dynamic, and the results were eye-opening.
He keeps on emphasizing it was not the same thing. It wasn't the same thing.
Right. So the study's flawed before it even starts. It doesn't matter what they find out after this because they're analyzing the tweets as if the same exact thing happened. And I'm going to show you the exact same thing did not even come close to happening. And there's a reason that Angel Reese got criticized. Again, all the racial stuff shouldn't have come out, but you can understand how people were upset with what she did. So I went to the study, Rob, and so if you're going to have to study this, you have to study what happened after Angel Reese did what she did and what after Caitlin Clark, what she did. And what they said is they only found one tweet, Rob, about what after Caitlin Clark did. And here's what he said. Many tweets during the game on March 27, 2023 extolled Clark's greatness as an athlete. Caitlin is literally putting up one of the greatest performances in Iowa sports history. Talk about stepping up to the moment. So why wouldn't people say that with a 41-point triple-double, Rob?
Right. Exactly.
Seriously.
Well, she had a so-so game. She had a so-so game.
Yeah. Of course they're going to say that. Our research found no tweets in the subsample that were directly critical of Clark's behavior against Louisville. One user referenced Clark's gesture against Louisville on March 27, 2023, but found it to be inspiring. Caitlin Clark seemingly telling Haley Van Lith, "You can't see me," after 41-point triple-double was so cold. That was the only found one comment, Rob, about one person that knows what that comment was and thought it was cold. And it wasn't after. This was like 2 minutes into the half. I just want to point that out because this was trash talking back and forth between the two of them. Haley Van Lith started out the game hot and was getting all excited, and there appears to be trash talking between the two of them. They're friends. They know each other. And then the coach of Louisville had to calm down Haley Van Lith. She was so pumped up. So probably, Caitlin Clark started getting hot. She hits another triple, and then this takes place. And I'll show you what happens. So I just want everyone to note up on the screen here the time. 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. It means there's 18 minutes left in the game. And they're only up here, right here by 6. Okay, she hits a 3 and they grow up by 9. So the game's still in doubt. That's important to this concept because when the game's over with, that's not trash talking, that's gloating. And there's a huge difference there. And of course, people don't want to accept that because they have this narrative. But let's play it, Rob, and you can see what happens.
Who's having a huge game. That's not the shot. Clark connects on a 3. Timeout, Louisville. An 8-0 Iowa run right after Louisville had cut it to 1.
Caitlin Clark leads the nation in assists, 8.5 per game. Can find teammates always. 3rd in the nation in points per game as she hits the deep 3. I don't know what that means.
Now, do you see Haley Van Lith just walk right by there, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to show you what Haley Van Lith said happened, and I don't believe it. It looks like her back is to her bench right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she just came out of a timeout. I have no idea why Haley Van Lith is going towards her bench and Caitlin Clark is coming out of her bench after timeout. That's confusing to me. But it's clear she's coming out of the timeout that they just had and she's walking away. And this kind of ends right there. All right, so it's clear that it looks like, and if you look on the Caitlin Clark's face, I just want to point out that these people are saying that Haley Van Lith was telling the truth about this. If you look in the face, it looks like she's angry. She doesn't look like she's celebrating something with her coach. Look at the look on her face, Rob. Does that look like you're doing that to an opponent who's been trash talking back and forth with you?
No,
or does that look like it's done to their coach that you're celebrating your hotness?
No, she looks intense. She just made a nice pass and made a deep shot to cause a timeout. So she's pumped up. She's intense. That's all. She's not angry or mad or anything. She's just like focused.
Right, but it doesn't look like she's doing it to her strength coach to me. It looks like she's doing it to Haley Van Lith. Just by the look on her face. Intense, like, okay, you were trash talking earlier. I'm trash talking now. We're friends, but hey, guess what? I got you right now. We're up by 9. I just hit my 5th 3.
Right, exactly.
So my point is that, first of all, she only did it for a second. And second of all, she didn't do it in Haley Van Lith's face. She was like walking by, it looks like about 10 feet away or something like that. But the Caitlin Clark fans who say that she did it to her strength coach is because of this excerpt right here that I'll play for you.
So when Caitlin Clark did the "you can't see me" gesture, it was against Louisville.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was directed towards you. Walk me through it from your vantage point.
Right after the game, I texted her and I was like, the media is dumb. I'm sorry. They just make stuff up. And then they just put it all over the internet and everyone thinks it's true. We were laughing about it because she did it to her strength coach. She didn't do it to anyone on our team, especially me. I didn't even see it in the game. I was probably, dribbling the ball up the court after she just hit a 3 in our face. It's just funny how like camera angles and perceptions are skewed.
I love, she said, media's wrong. You guys are dumb.
It was hilarious.
So Rob, I'm just saying, I don't know about the camera angles. Unless I have other evidence, to me, I think she did it to Haley Van Lith. Haley Van Lith might not have been looking at Caitlin Clark, but Caitlin Clark looked like to me like she was looking at Haley Van Lith. So that's all I want to point out.
You mean it was towards her. She wasn't doing. It was pointed towards Van Lith.
Right. So I'm making 2 points here. One, she just did it for a second. It wasn't in her face, but at the same time, Caitlin Clark also says in a short that she did it to her strength coach. But it looks to me like that's not what's happening. But I don't know. Unless you give me other evidence, if someone asked me to make a decision, and if I'm sitting in a courtroom, I'm saying it looked like she did it to Haley Van Lith, not the coach. Be that as may, it doesn't matter because it's still way, way, way different than what Angel Reese did, which we'll show you right now.
And look at how far Caitlin Clark is playing off of Raven Johnson.
Daring her to shoot from 3.
You see her? She's not even looking at her. She's swiped away with her hand.
Johnson dumps it into Cardoso. She throws it away.
A team to shoot the basketball. Watch Caitlin Clark, left side. She doesn't even look at her. Waves her hand as if to say, I don't care about.
Okay, so that's what Caitlin Clark did to Raven Johnson in the games between that. Now, I will say I didn't like what she did. I don't mind her not covering Raven Johnson. That's her and the coach's decision, but she's shooting 21%. Now, it turns out to hurt her because in that particular game, she went 3 for 6 and hit 2 big threes in the second half. But they won the game anyways. Iowa did. So, I don't know. Rob, what did you think of that gesture that she did?
It's not cool. I didn't think that.
Not cool. I agree. Not cool, but not in someone's face. And she just did it for a second.
And Angel Reese knows a ring is coming. The Maryland transfer has thrived at LSU.
All right, so that's the first time she does it. She does the ring thing, and then, but what people really got, if she had just done that, Rob, I would have cut her a break.
Yeah, I mean, she had done that. Clark didn't see that. I'm like, I don't like it, but I'm like, okay, fine, you did that. That's
right. Fine. She did it. Now you see me against someone else. That now you see me thing here. Big deal. Okay,
that's fine.
But that's not. She couldn't just leave it alone at that, Rob. That's the problem that people have. And I'm going to show you what she did. And she did it for 12 seconds, Rob. And this is, again, it's stalking and gloating and other words you can use that are worse than that. And unsportsmanlike, and it was classless.
Yeah, very, very classless and unsportsmanlike.
Let's see. You can see there's 17 seconds left.
That 3 rings out. LSU has it.
Now she follows him around.
Morris has to get it across. Kim Mulkey in year 2 has orchestrated a turnaround for the ages.
Yeah.
LSU.
Tell me that's the exact same thing that you saw Caitlin Clark do to Haley Van Lith.
Like I said before, I remember we did this video, talked about it in one of our early videos. If she had done that to me, especially after a game of loss, she probably would have been on the ground.
So you guys heard it here first. Rob would have decked a woman.
Well, if I was a woman.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, if it was me, at the very least, I would have said, "Get the F out of my face" and push her or something. I would have said, I wouldn't have been as composed as Caitlin Clark was. No. And that just shows you that the way Caitlin Clark handled it was so good that goes into part of what happened here. Caitlin Clark didn't bite into the taunting and the gloating and all that stuff. So that you got to praise Caitlin Clark for that, regardless of whether you're a Caitlin Clark fan or not, because I don't think I could have handled that doing nothing, Rob.
No, but what annoys me, Mark, is like you said, the black people were upset that people were complaining about this. I'm like, that's wrong. It's 2 times she did it, and the last one is wrong. And if you ask them if they did that to you, what would you do? You'd be like you said, F her, knock her down. Say something.
I don't think I'd knock her down. I would have just said, like, push her and say, "Get the F out of my face."
Get on my face. I mean,
that's what I would have done. I don't think I would have knocked her down.
There would have been some reaction. So how can you say that was okay for her to do that? And why are you picking on her? And what that's okay? No, it's not okay for anyone to do that. Doesn't matter what color. It's not okay.
Rob, I've been watching sports just like you. You've been watching 16 months longer than me, because that's how far apart we are. We said we're twins, but we're 16 months apart. So for 60, whatever, I'm 65. I'm 60. I've never seen a more unsportsmanlike thing at the end of a game in a team sport. Individual sport, maybe I have. I don't know, in a team sport. I've never seen anyone do that. Anything like that, where they're stalking another star player, their star player stalking their star player, while their teammates are celebrating the last 12 seconds of a game. I have never seen that. So don't go tell me that's just like the exact same thing Caitlin Clark did. No. Or that this is just a normal occurrence, that she just celebrated her victory. She wasn't celebrating her victory at all. She was rubbing it in the face of Caitlin Clark because because she's friends with Raven John. She made up all sorts of excuses for why she did that.
I think I might have said this story before. When I was coaching girls basketball, we beat a team, and it's pretty gross what they did. So we won, and you high five after the game, and then my players were looking at their hand, and they were like, "Oh, gross." So the other team had spit on their hands and were high fiving my players. And that's the only other thing that's more gross. And then after we played them again in the finals, and we beat them again, and I said, "No, we're not shaking hands." And
I don't blame you at that point. It's spit in their face. Yeah. You're not doing anything wrong there, Rob. That's just common sense at that point.
Yeah, my athletic director was asking why. I said, "Well, last game we beat them, and they spit on their hands, so I'm not shaking their hands."
Supposedly, Angel Reese claims, she dissed one of my opponents during the game. She didn't wave anybody off at the 3-point line. She might not have been covering the person, but she didn't. Which is perfectly okay, because she does that all the time. And so she didn't do anything to her teammates. Angel Reese made that up. There was no waving off in that game. There was nothing disrespectful during that game. I've watched the game twice. There's nothing going on there at all. The Raven thing, let's talk about the difference. Number one, she didn't do it to Angel Reese. Okay. Number two, she didn't do anything to Angel Reese's teammates. Okay. Number three, she did it 2 games ago, and she did it for a second against a friend of hers who they were going back and forth trash talking, and they were trash talking. They were trash talking in the game. It was still in doubt.
That's what I'm saying, Mark. Why is she? Why, like we said, why are you all in her business? Why would you you were watching the game? So what you're saying? Oh, I can't believe she did that. So when I get the opportunity, I'm going to do it to her. Why?
There's 5 things already, and we hadn't even got to what Angel Reese did. Now Angel Reese did it twice. That's 6, and she did 2 different gestures. That's 7, and then she did it for a couple seconds the first time, and then she did it for 12 seconds. It's like 9 differences, Rob. I don't know what to say. Yeah. It is, and she did a ring thing with the. Now you see me, and I don't know, Rob. To say that this is the exact same thing is insane, and it's just
not even close.
Then they use that to say that if you say it's not the exact same thing, you're being racist.
Racist, yeah. Which
is racist for them to say that. I'm totally offended by ESPN who said this. they go on exact same thing, and people are being racist for saying that. They said things like this, Rob. I don't know. I feel insulted by them saying that.
I guess I'm a racist then. All the other people who agreed with us, or people who saw that as an act of, unsportsmanlike, and then she's going to whine and cry about it and try to, play it off. But that's wrong. What you did was wrong. And so just the society now with the young people admit that you did something wrong. It wasn't right. I mean, yeah, you could say it was in the heat of the game, but not 12 seconds. I mean, the first time, okay, but not at the end,
Rob, I would let her slide again, like I said, if it was just the first one.
Yeah.
Whatever. She didn't have, why did she do what does the ring have to do with anything, Rob? Caitlin Clark did not do a ring thing to Hailey Van Lith, so she's going way past what she did. And he talks about some comments that people made in response to this. And he has this strange sentence in front of this that I don't even understand what it means. But notably, some tweets perceive the minimization of racism as a necessary end to appropriately judge Reese's behaviors compared to the behaviors of Clark. And then he quotes this: "It wasn't even remotely close to the same. Clark did the gesture in the middle of the game for 0.5 seconds. Reese followed Clark around for the court for 15 plus seconds and got right in her face and taunted for way longer than Clark. Has nothing to do with race." That comment is perfectly okay. And he's criticizing it, saying, whatever he's saying here, they're trying to say, oh, it wasn't racism, it was this. Well, that's because they're right. It wasn't the same thing. And so you can see his bias, Rob. He won't even confront the fact that it wasn't the same thing. He never, in this study, never talks about that. He just keeps saying it's the same thing. How about talking about the fact that why he thinks it's the same thing?
Right.
Because he can't show it's the same thing.
Because it's not.
Right. So that part of the study is never even discussed. I looked through it. I skimmed through it. I can't find anything where he did that. I looked at. And all these numbers. He can put all these numbers up that he wants. It doesn't show anything except for that you have a flawed study to begin with because you're racially biased. He's racially biased in this study.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the sad part where people can't even see that. They want to pull the. I hate this term, the race card, but that's exactly what they were doing. Like, oh, look at that. See, she did this. How come when Clark did this and then Angel did this, why isn't there any uproar with what Clark did? Because it's not the same damn thing. That's why. Excuse me.
Rob, he wasn't playing the race card, as Zero said. We dealt it from the bottom of the deck. And that's what he's doing here. He's stealing the race card from the bottom of the deck. And, you have a flawed study is meaningless. Anybody that knows anything about science or anything like that, if you don't have the right parameters to begin with, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, your study's flawed. It's a flawed study, so
right.
Can't take it serious.
So anyways, just so you know, I left 2 phone messages. There was a phone number in the beginning of the article and the end by their author. They said, you want to contact the doctoral candidate, Mr. Parsons. I called, left 2 messages. No one called me back. I emailed him and asked him to be on our show. No response whatsoever. I didn't even say anything mean, like your study was flawed. I just said, hey, we'd like to discuss this on our show. No response from an email. He could have just said, no, I'm busy. No, he just ignored it because he doesn't want to be cross-examined on this, Rob. He doesn't want to be challenged on his study. He wants his study to stand on its own. And that's not the way science works. If anybody knows anything about science, my brother's a scientist. You publish this and then people challenge it. That's what happens.
Mark, he's busy working on his doctorate. He doesn't have time for you.
Well, if he wants to get a doctorate, perhaps he should do a better study, Rob.
There you go. Bang. There you go.
As a doctoral candidate, if I was the head by saying, you're going to turn this in one of your projects, this is so flawed, it's not even funny.
Right, exactly.
And that's what I would do if I was, being fair about it. And he has a chance to defend it, but he knows it's not defendable because he knows it's not the exact same thing. Or he said the same thing. To be fair to him, he didn't use the word exact, but they did use the exact same thing a million times on the internet, and ESPN said it exact same thing several times. So just to be clear on that, let us know what you think down below of the study or what you think about the incident in general, whether it was the exact same thing or not. And if you do, hit the like button and share it with your family, friends, and acquaintances. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make Rob happy. We're going for 7,000 subscribers and we need your help. And hit that notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next video. And join us for our live show, which is every Monday and Thursday. Starts out with Caitlin Clark's crossover. 6 to 7 and 5:30 to 6:30 respectively. It's Eastern time except for major holidays. It's like a sports reporters type forum. We have guest podcasters and it's really cool. If you want to donate to this channel, you can with super chats and super thanks down below. And there's a link to PayPal. We'll see you in the next video.
Peace out. All right.